Hello, everyone. Welcome back. MMA Oddsbreaker, Frank Trigg in Las Vegas, and I'm assuming still down to American Top Team is Nik Lentz. You still in Florida right now, Nick?
Yep, just hanging out in Florida for another week.
Okay. How take us through the last week of training camp for you? Like, just walk us through it real quick.
The last week is more about just peaking. The last 3 weeks are all about peaking. So I try to make sure that the training sessions are shorter. They're still intense, but they're shorter because the diet shrinks, everything comes down. So you don't want to get sick, and this is when a lot of guys get hurt because they don't really adjust for that. So that's one of the things I've always very well, and so when it comes to the fight, I'm always 100%. And a lot of guys don't do that, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm going to be successful at 45.
And that's one of the things I was going to ask you is how you guys keep from getting hurt so much. 'Cause a lot of the guys in American Top Team, as long as they make weight, they're okay to go. That's one of the biggest flaws down there. Really, that's the only complaint anybody has about ATT is that some of the guys don't make weight sometimes. But other than that, you guys come ready to fight. You never have that excuse, even if you lose. I'm not talking about you personally, but your team as a whole.
Yeah.
If they lose, they never go, "Oh, I had this injury," or "I was hurt here." It's always like I got lost, and maybe mad about the loss, but they never really have like this huge injury problem. Do you notice that in the room too, that the rest of your guys you're training with don't seem to get injured as well compared to the other guys in other camps?
You know, I, I wish I could say yes, but I don't really pay attention to that. When I go to practice, I'm very business oriented, so all the other guys I don't pay attention very well. So I just kind of am in my own zone. I do my own thing, and then when I leave, that's when I start talking to people and stuff. But when I go to practice, I'm like in a different zone. So my social status and like the amount I talk at practice is very minimal.
What are your teammates like? Because I know a lot of the guys like to talk, a lot of the guys like to hang out and do that kind of thing. And I've heard before that you're not a guy that does that during practice. You come in, you work, you go home. So what's it
Yeah.
like then at practice for you compared to the rest of the guys? Is it difficult because all these guys want to hang out and be chummy, or is it easy for you because you don't mind punching everybody in the face anyway?
Well, it's easy for me. The only thing that's different is when I first go to a new place. Like when I first got to ATT, a lot of people take silence as cocky or as rude, And a lot of times, this happens a lot of times. Someone will talk to me and I won't even notice, like because I'm like kind of thinking or
Oh,
something. And
okay.
so then they just assume that like I'm kind of big shotting them or something, like don't talk to me or something. But within a week or so, everyone just knows that hey, that's just the way I am. I don't really talk that much at practice. And then as I get to know people, we hang out outside of the gym, and then I'm a lot different. So I take fighting very seriously, and this has been my job for a long time. And just when I go there, I'm just there to work. So that's the only reason I go there.
What do you do outside the gym? Like when you say you hang out with these guys outside the gym, what do you guys do?
Sometimes we watch the fight. Sometimes we go out to the club. Sometimes there's a ton of things that we do. We just live normal lives outside the gym. As long as it's not like physical activities. We don't play football or basketball or anything like that because we're tired. But besides that, just kind of just normal hanging out.
Okay. You said earlier that your diet's starting to shrink a little bit because you have to get your weight down. What's your weight like right now?
I probably weigh about 163 in the morning.
Okay.
I
And what do you?
start I start camp at about 175,
Oh,
and then slowly it shrinks from there. And right now I'm about 163. By fight week I'll be about 160 ish, and
okay.
then from there I just make the weight. It's pretty easy.
Okay. And then you walk in that week of fight week. You walk in about 15 over. How long does it take you to cut that weight? Is it like two hard sessions? Is it one hard session during fight week? What happens for you to get that weight off?
No, it's pretty easy. It's pretty relaxed atmosphere. I just kind of the last day I kind of lose probably the day before weigh-ins. I lose about 6 or 7 pounds, and then I lose the rest about a couple hours before the weigh-in.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's not that bad. Typical wrestler style. So it makes it pretty easy.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's break down your opponent. Get ready to fight Hacran Dias. Break him down for us. Let me know kind of how you see him as a fighter.
He's a super tough, talented kid. Well, he's not really a kid. He's my same age, but as far as like let's say how long he's been around and who he's fought, he's definitely fought a lot lesser opponents than I have. And he's well rounded. He's super skilled. He's one of those guys that's been able to win off his being more athletic than everybody and just being more explosive or whatever. He's kind of a grinder a little bit. But overall, I think I'm just better everywhere than him. I mean, it's not really that much interesting things to say about it. Just I'm a better striker, I'm a better grappler, I'm just better all around, and I've been in the mix a lot longer than he has, and I fought a lot tougher guys than he has. And when I come and put the pressure on him, I don't think he's going to be able to handle it.
Your record is 23-5-2. His is 21-1-1. So, like from a record standpoint, you guys are relatively close. But you're right. And you look at the level of competition, and the guys you have fought at the highest level has been a lot tougher than the guys that he's seeing. Do you think they're trying to bring him in to get beat up and make you shine, or are they trying to bring him in to, slow down your stardom? Like, what do you think's happening with this kind of matchup?
Actually, I didn't. I actually like right away when they brought up this fight to me. I didn't know this, but he was supposed to fight Manny Gambirian, and
Oh,
Gambirian got hurt. So then they asked me if I would take it, and I said yes.
okay. So it was a put together as your replacement for Manny. I forgot about his injury. So
Yep.
that's actually pretty good. And it shows, that's the one thing I do like about Joe Silva and Sean Shelby with the UFC. They do kind of have those guys that they know they can call that will be relatively close to being ready to fight. Do you always try to stay within 8 weeks of a fight, 6 weeks of a fight, 4 weeks of a fight? Like, how close are you always to be prepared and ready to go if they call you in the last minute?
I mean, overall, I want the 8 weeks. If I can have it, especially make 145 pounds. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a small guy at 145 pounds. So I like the 8 weeks. I'll do a fight, especially if I'm training. Like if I was training for a fight and someone got hurt my mid camp or something, I would take it right away. Things like that. The only difference now is I ask for a little more time just because I'm in the process of relocating to Florida.
Oh, okay.
So I still live in Minnesota. I actually just sold my house, so I'm on my way to moving to Florida. But training at Florida and stuff, it makes it a little harder to take short notice fights. But this one was enough time for me to train.
But the next fight after this, then you should be down there full time, so it won't be as hard, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. After I get a house down here and I move, then my schedule will be a lot easier because I'll be training full time down here, and it'll just everything about it's going to be easier to take shorter notice fights.
Well, thanks, Nick. I know today's a big media day for you, so I'm gonna let you go. And I appreciate you guys coming on here with MMA Oddsbreaker. Good luck in your fight against Hacran, and I'm gonna enjoy watching this one at the house.
All right, man. Thank you.
Take care, Nick.